Okay, so now we'll do some of the approximation questions, right? Now let's see how to approach this kind of question, right? Suppose I've been given that I have to calculate 16% of let's say 776. So what is 16% of 776? Okay, we need to calculate this. So what we'll look for it? So we'll look for it. See, for this kind of questions, we have to be thoroughly aware with all the percentage funda, right? Basically, we have discussed in the first videos, we also in percentage video, also in speed maths also, right? Again, I'll discuss briefly. Suppose a number is like, suppose 68 is a number. So we have to calculate, suppose what is it? 10%. So 10% of 68 is very easy. It is 6.8. Just one decimal back. Okay, 6.8. What is 5% of 68? So 5% of 68 is what? How to calculate 5%? Calculate 10% and make it half. Okay. So 68 10%, 6.8. It's half how much? 3.4. Okay. What is 1% of 68? It is 0.68. 10% is 6.8. So 1% is what? 0.68. For 10%, one decimal. For 1%, two decimal. Okay. Now for 0.1%. For 0.1%. Okay. 0.1%. What is 0.1%? Now further 0.1%, right? Further one decimal back. So 1% is 0.68. So what is 0.1%? 0.068. Correct? Just so small things, yeah. Okay. Now what is 25% of it? So 25% of it is what? It is 1/4. What is 1/4? Half and again half. 68 half, 34. 34 half, 17. So 17 is the number. So what we'll do now? We'll again break this 16% here. Okay. We'll again break this 16% here into 10% plus 5% plus 1%. Okay. So we'll break like 10% plus 5% plus 1%. Okay. What is 10% of 776? It is 77.6. What is 5% of 776? So half of 10%, right? So now half of 77.6. So very easy. See, you have to make half of 77.6. Just break these numbers, right? Like suppose you're doing half of 77.6. So what you can think of is half of 78. Okay. Minus half of 0.4. When you're doing half of 78, okay, you are taking half of 0.4 extra because 77.6 difference from 78 is what? 0.4. Okay. So half of 78 by half of 78 is 39 and half of 0.4 is 0.2. So if this is small things you can calculate in mind, no, it will be very easy, right? Suppose I have to make half of 77.6. Do it mentally. 78 half 39. 0.4 is extra. 0.4 half 0.2. 39 minus 0.2, 39 minus 0.2, 38.8. So these things will become very easy, right? If you can calculate this mentally. Plus 1%. What is 1% of 776? 7.76. Okay. Now always this thing you remember. Always you have to solve, right? Always you need to solve only to one place of decimal, right? That will be enough. Answer you need to approximate to one place of decimal. Okay, these kind of questions are very important in data interpretation as well as solving a question for percentage, profit loss, SICI, okay, mixtures, all the way the percentage applications are there. This become very easy if you can calculate very fast, right? So I just want these numbers here. Okay, what is numbers here now? So 7.76 should be treated as always placed to one place of decimal. So 7.76 round off, it will be 7.8. Okay, so now just add this integer parts. First 77 plus 38. Do it mentally. 77 plus 38, 115. 115 plus 7, 122. So 122 plus 0.6 plus 0.8, 1.4. 1.4 plus 0.8 is 2.2 plus 2.2. So answer is 124.2. Answer is 124.2. But what we need to do is, now when we are thorough with this method, I want the answer within 10 seconds, right? 10 seconds should be the maximum time. You should not exceed it, obviously. Okay, so you have to practice, right? This is the correct way of solving. If you solve like this, no, even if you take more than 40-50 seconds today to do this kind of question, okay, after practicing 30-40 questions of this kind, you can solve this question within 10 seconds, right? Suppose assume that mentally you have to solve it right now. Just do it mentally. I have this question as 16% of 776. What I'll do mentally? I'll simply write, okay, what is 10%? 77.6. What is half 5%? Half of it. That is 38.8. What is 1%? 7.76. I'll write 7.8. What is the answer? 77 plus 38, 115 plus 7, 122. 122 plus 0.6 plus 0.8 plus 0.8, 2.2. 122 plus 2.2. Answer is 124.2. It should go that fast. It should go that fast, right? Once you're thorough with the method, you can calculate fractions in your mind, percentage in your mind. You can do this very, very, very easily, right? So I really want you to do this kind of question very, very easily. Okay, so let's do this kind of question, and let's focus how the question in exam comes, right? This kind of question is very common in data interpretation, quant, everywhere. Okay, so we have to learn it. Now let's take up another question here. We'll practice your question. Let's take up 27.2% of 1626. Suppose I take. Okay. So to calculate this in exam, right? Now very quickly we'll do. Very quickly. What we'll do? I'll just break this 27.2%, right? How should I break it? Okay. Now again, this question is how should I break it? So I told you earlier also I've told. Okay. Calculating 10%, calculating 5%, calculating 1%, calculating 25%, calculating 50%, calculating 75%, calculating 33.33%. All these numbers are very, very easy, right? Very easy, because what is 10%? You just put one decimal. What is 5%? 10%, then it's half. What is 1%? Two decimal back. What is 25%? 1/4. What is 50%? Half. What is 75%? 3/4. What is 33.33%? 1/3. What is 16.66%? 1/6. Okay, so all this thing we know. So we have to break these numbers according to these numbers are very easy to calculate here. So according to these numbers, I have to break this number with this kind, right? How should I break it? How should I break it? You see, 27.2% can be written as, it is close to any of these numbers here. Yes, it is close to 25%. Very easy. 25% plus 2% plus 0.2%, right? And the moment you write this 2% and 0.2%, you should be fully aware that 0.2% is 1/10 of 2%. It is 1/10 of 2%, right? Now 25% is 1/4. Okay, 25% is 1/4. What is 1/4 of 1626? Do it mentally. Do it mentally. 1600, break the number, right? 1626, break the number. This is very important. You have to do mentally. You have to break the numbers. Okay, if you ask me what is 1/4 of 1626, it's very easy, right? Because what I'll do, 1600 1/4 is 400. 26 1/4. What is 1/4? Half and again half. 26 half 13, 13 half 6.5. 400 plus 6.5, 406.5. Okay, plus 2%. What is 1% of 1626? 16.26. So 1626, 1% is 16.26. I always told you to consider to one place of decimal. It becomes 16.3. Okay, so if 1% is 16.3, what is 2%? Double it, 32.6. 32.6 is the double of 16.3 plus 0.2%. Okay, now 0.2% is 1/10 of 2%. So what is 1/10 of 32.6? It is 3.26. Okay, and again to one place of decimal, I'll write it as 3.3. That's it, done. Now simply add the integers part first. 406 plus 32, 438 plus 3, 441. Okay, it becomes 441 plus 0.5 plus 0.6 is 1.1 plus 3, 1.4. So 1.4. 442.4. Even if you find difficulty here, you just write, you treat this 0.5 as 5. 5 plus 6, 11. 11 plus 3, 14. And just put 1 plus decimal. 14, 1 plus decimal becomes what? 1.4. So 1.4. So 442.4 is the answer. Right? So this is a very interesting way, and you have to solve it, right? You have to practice like that. Right? Now, do some more problems here. We'll do some more problem. This kind of number should be very easy to calculate, very easy to calculate and very fast also. Okay. Suppose I need to calculate 48.5% of 3264. What is the answer? Very quickly, I want. So now you should be aware of, right, that 48.5% is somewhere close to 50%. Okay, so we'll break this number as 50% minus 1.5%. Correct? What is 50%? 50% is just half. What is half of 3264? Very easy. 3200 half, 1600. 64 half, 32. It becomes 1632 minus 1.5%. Now, what is 1% of 3264? It is 32.64. We'll write approximate it to one place of decimal. So I can write it as 32.6. Because it is 0.4 here. So no need to increase the value. Simply 32.6. What is 0.5%? It is half of this, right? It is half of 1%. What is half of 32.6? 16.3. 32.6 plus 16.3 becomes 48.9. So that means it is 48.9. 1632 minus 48.9. Right? What is the answer? 1632 minus 48. Right? So again, do it. Come to 100. Right? 1632 to 1600. So we have subtract 32. To subtract further 16.9. Okay, 1632 to first calculate in terms of 100. Okay, 1632 to 1600 will subtract 32. Okay, so once we subtract 32, we are further subtracting 16.9. Okay, so 1600 minus 16.9. 1600 minus 16, 1584. Minus 0.9, 1583.1. 1583.1 should be the answer. Okay, this is the answer. Right, I hope you are getting it. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, calculating these numbers. We'll practice these questions. Okay, in this video we'll practice this question a lot. Okay, now let's take up another question here. This I'll take one of the exam previous year IBPS PO question. Okay, in approximation, 15.5% of 849 plus 24.8% of 24.8% of 651. Okay, so now see, this kind of question depends on option, right? It depends on option. I'll tell you, very important thing here. It depends on option. Suppose options are 295, okay, then 330, then 290, or then 365, and then 210. So you can see here options are far apart. Options are quite far apart, right? They are very far. In terms of, right, we're solving in terms of decimals, no? So it is very far options. Difference is very considerable number. Difference quite considerable here. Okay. Only these two options are close. Right? And suppose options are, okay, like 295, okay, like 294, like 293, okay, 292 and 296. Now here, this could be the first set of options. This could be the second set of options. Okay. If in exam we have the first set of options, it is very easy for us to calculate, right? I'm telling you, if we have this considerable difference here in the options, what you do, you can quickly convert this number as, okay, or let me first solve this for second part. Let me first solve this for second part. Okay. Now what is 15.5% of 849? Right now we'll calculate accurately. Okay. Then we'll see approximation. 15.5% of 849. Right. So what you need to do? You just 10% plus 5% plus 0.5% this part. 24.8% means 25% minus 0.2%. Correct? Now, what is 15.5% of 849? Okay, what is 10% of 849? 84.9. What is 5%? Just half it. 84 half, 42. 0.9 half, you can take 0.5, no issue. 42.5. Plus 0.5%. What is half? What is 0.5%? It is 1/10 of. It is 1/10 of 5%. You can rightly say here. 1/10 of 5%. Okay. So how much is 1/10 of 5%? Okay. How much it is? 42.5, 1/10. So it should be 4.2 I can take approximately. I can take it as 4.2. What is the number here? 84 plus 42, 126 plus 4, 130 plus 0.9 plus 0.5 plus 0.2 is 1.6. So it is 130 plus 1.6, 131.6. This part. Now plus this part. 25%. What is 651 25%? So half and again half. So 600 1/4 is how much? 150. What is 51 1/4? 51 half, 25.5. 25.5 half, 12.75. Okay, 12.75. Right. That means it is 150 plus 12.75. It should be 162.75. We are doing this tough calculation to make you very familiar, right? Do this calculation with me. 651 1/4. Okay. We are doing this question if in exam we had this second set of options. 651 1/4 is how much? 651 1/4 is how much? 600 1/4, 150. 51 1/4, half and again half. 51 half, 25.5. 25.5 half, 12.75. So what is my minus 0.2% now? So what is 0.1%, right? So 10%, see 651, we'll put decimal, 10%, then 1%, then 0.1%. So 0.1% is nothing but 0.665. Okay, 651, 0.1%. Let me write here. Understand this whole process, right? Very carefully. 651.5%. It is, sorry, 0.1%. It is 0.1% is 0.651. You can take it as 0.6, no issue. If it is 0.6, what is 0.2%? It is 1.2. Correct. This also you can take it as, just consider to one place of decimal. So you can take it as 152, 162.7 you can take. Now, what is the number here? 162.7 minus 1.2, it becomes 161.5. Very easy. If you add it, you'll get the result as, see, you get the result as 131.6 plus 161.5. It is 131 plus 161, 292. 292 plus 1.1, it is 293.1. So which option to mark here? Which option to mark? We'll mark C. If we had the second set of options in examinations. Correct. In exam, these were the actual options. 295, 330, 270, 365, 210. This is the actual exam question I've taken. Actual IPS PO question with actual options. Right. This first was examination question. But I'm telling that in exam, this also could be your set of options. Okay. Then this is the way to calculate. Okay. But in exam, there is high probability that you will get this much. Okay. So when you have practiced this hard, this becomes very easy. Right. Now see. In exam, how to attempt it? When we see a considerable difference in the option here, right? 295, 330, 270, they're far apart, right? They're far apart. So what to do in this case? In this case, simply assume 849 as 850, 15.5% of 850 plus 24.8, you can assume it as 25%, 651 you can assume as 650. If we had first set of option examinations, which was actually in IUPS PO examination, then it becomes very easy, right? Now 10% is 85, 5% is 42.5. What is 0.5%? 1/10 of it, that is 4.25. Okay, plus 25% of 650. Very easy. 650 1/4, 650 half, 325, 325 half, 162.5. Or you can break the number. 600 1/4, 150. 50 1/4, 12.5. 150 plus 12.5, 162.5. Okay. So 42.5 plus 162.5 becomes 205. 205 plus 85 is 290. 290 plus 4.25. Around 294. Which option to mark? 295 to mark. Okay. So it's become very easy. It is very easy here. So what we learned here? We learned two things here. First thing we learned is good calculation. First thing we learned is good calculation skill. Second thing we learned is smartness. Okay, that if we have a considerable difference in examination, which actually was in that examination, in that IPPS PO examination. Okay, so there I can easily do this kind of approximation, or wherever it could be a DI in CAT, it could be DI in other MBA entrance examination, or SSC, or SBI PO, right? Anywhere it could be. So there you have to do this kind of approximations and smartness, right? So two things we should know. We should be able to do very tough calculation. so that we are prepared for the toughest part, as well as we have to be smart that if there is a considerable difference, if there is a considerable difference in the options, we could easily mark it, right? Because at the last in the examination we have to mark the option, right? So hope you enjoyed this video, right? I'll make many more such videos on speed maths. Okay, keep watching. Thank you.